We're talking about all these quarterbacks. We're talking about Jimmy G. We're talking about Teddy Bridgewater's getting mentioned. We're talking about all these quarterbacks, Carson Wentz, the Kirk Cousins getting a third fully guaranteed contract, which is just atrocious. And no one is mentioning the name of the most underrated player in professional football right now, period. Say his name with me. Gardner Flint Minshew the second. Look at this man. The Minshew mania has been running wild for 3 years in the NFL. 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 8-14 record. That 1 year on the Jags was pretty bad for that whole team, but he was actually pretty solid. Nearly 6,000 yards passing in his career.
They did beat the Colts.
They did beat the Colts. They did beat the Colts.
Won.
Look, I understand there's questions about, is his arm strong? I understand there's questions about, is he maybe does he have the mobility? Well, we're not asking those same questions about Teddy Bridgewater. We're not asking those same questions about a guy like Jimmy G. We know he doesn't have the strongest arm. We're not asking the same question about Mitch Trubisky. And this guy comes in, should have won Rookie of the Year his first year. I stand by that. I will till the day I die. Should have won it over Kyler Murray. And then goes on to put up 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions in his first 22 starts in the NFL. That's not chump change. That's not garbage time. Everyone wants to say garbage time. The Jags were actually competitive. He was one of the only reasons they were actually in some of those games. Andrew, you can attest. You're a Titans fan. You can attest to that. I mean,
they used to piss me off. They used to give me fucking anxiety watching those games.
It's absolutely.
Now, we didn't play defense before 2021, but still.
It's absolutely insane, bro. It is 100% insane. Gardner Minshew should be mentioned. He should be mentioned. The fact that he's not mentioned is insane to me. He should be mentioned when you were talking about big free agent, landing spots, big free agent, targets for quarterbacks. Because the dude, all he does is be productive. All he does is show that he can play, prove that he can play, prove that he can be a leader of men. All the players he plays with, they love him. They love him because the dude is a hype machine. He's exactly what you want in a young leader. I could go on and on, obviously, but Andrew, look, there's a bunch of places, right? There's a bunch of places that he could possibly land. There's a bunch of places still looking for a quarterback. What's a place that should honestly take a shot at Gardner Minshew if they strike out on someone else?
I think the Colts. Definitely.
You always think the Colts.
I just a legitimate one that I'm actually thinking about. Like this recently just came to me when it came to Minshew was he went to Washington State, dude. Seattle. I'm thinking Seattle needs a quarterback. Minshew can at least weather the storm for them. Minshew could win them some games. I think, obviously, the Rams run that division, but Minshew, get him back in the Pacific Northwest. That's a team. I mean, these quarterbacks are dropping like flies. Like they're all picking places and everything like that. Maybe New Orleans, if they can ever get out of cap hell, they could potentially make a move, go get Minshew. I mean, honestly, dude, any place that needs a quarterback, I think Minshew could be a viable option, not just as maybe a backup where he probably would, but there's these quarterbacks coming out in the draft, for example, right? Because this is a very weak draft. This is a very weak draft we have this year. Name me a quarterback, a projected first-round pick. Well, of those top 5 that we named, name me a quarterback that you think coming out this year that you think you would start over Gardner Minshew. Because these guys that are coming out this year, the Malik Willises, the Kenny Pickett's, the Sam Howells, the Matt Corrals, all those guys, even the Desmond Ritters and everything, some of those guys, 3 of them could be first-rounders. A first-rounder means he's probably going to come in, sit his first year, maybe play here and there, and potentially would you take any of those guys over Minshew? I wouldn't. That's why I think a team that may be picking high, whether it's the Giants, whether it's Seattle doesn't have. Seattle did get picks from the Russell Wilson trade, but I think one of those teams should take a legitimate chance, whether it's Seattle, whether it's the Giants, even the Jets. Hell, I would not wish Houston on him. I really would not wish Houston on him. But those are just some teams. Those are just some teams. Hell, even if Atlanta decides to move off of Matty Ice, I think Gardner Flint Minshew would be a great. I mean, look at that mustache, dude. Great mustache.
Look,
Great mustache.
You said something there, and I think I do see Gardner Minshew ending up in the NFC South. I think at the end of the day, New Orleans is going to strike out on all the guys that they want. I don't think
money.
They don't have money.
They've moved shit around, and they're still like -6.
Andrew, they don't have money, but they do have 6th-round picks because apparently that's the value of Gardner Minshew in the NFL. I don't understand it. You got Carson Wentz going for 2 third-round picks. Gardner Minshew going for a 6th-round pick. But hey, that's the market. If that's the market, New Orleans, you got a shot. You got a shot at getting a guy who's not going to get injured, who's not going to turn the ball over, who's going to make plays, who's going to rally your team, who's going to actually hype your team up, who's actually knows how to play in the NFL, who knows how to play in bad teams in the NFL. So even if people get injured, he can weather the storm to an extent. And he's only 25 years old. He's a young buck. He's got so much to learn. First 22 starts in the league. 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. What have you got to lose? You're telling me Ian Book is better than this dude? You're telling me, what's his name? Trevor Siemian? Who the hell is Trevor Siemian? Is better than Gardner Flint Minshew the second? No.
Yeah, honestly,
no.
Dude, like I was saying before.
Grow a pair. Make it happen. Gardner Minshew, MVP 2022. Hey everyone, we hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Until next time, keep it real.